It's been 23 years this week since India's victory at the Kargil war, and you've heard many stories of the courage and valor of our soldiers. But on this broadcast today, we'll meet someone with a truly extraordinary story. I'm Barkha Dutt, and you're with the Mojo Story, and I'm here today to introduce all of you to Brigadier MPS Bajwa. He is a war hero, he's a military veteran, and he's the man who oversaw the operation to take back the iconic Tiger Hill. I know because I was there as a 20-something, and it was a transformative experience to watch this valor unfold. But then Brigadier Bajwa did something even more extraordinary. It is he who helped a slain Pakistani captain get the highest military honor of Pakistan. How did that happen? And isn't this what true courage is really about? So much to talk about in this extraordinary conversation. Brigadier Bajwa, good evening, and it is an absolute honor for me to have the chance to speak with you. And like I said, you were the man who oversaw the operation to take back Tiger Hill. And you know, you're a war veteran, a war hero, a war wounded, so many things. But you are also truly emblematic of the Fauji spirit, of the soldier's big heart. I want you to take our audience back to that week when you were in charge of the ops to take back Tiger Hill and how you stumbled upon a Pakistani captain called Colonel Sher Khan. So,
first of all, it's a pleasure talking to you, Barkha.
Thank you, sir.
Now, let me tell you the story of the Kargil, especially I'll come down to the Tiger Hill gateway. As you are aware, you are there only, that 56 had finished tolerant operations. And it was on 26th of June when my brigade headquarters, that is 192 Mountain Brigade, was called in. The moment I reached Jalpuri, met Jalpuri, who was the GOC of 8th Mountain Division, I reached the operations room and he told me, Miss Paj, now it is your turn to take Tiger Hill. I said, no problem, sir. He says, every time you turn around and say no problem. It is a very difficult, it is a strategic important, it's very important. Check. I said, you must have given a thought. Don't worry, sir, I'll do it. Thereafter, he asked me to come down to 56th Brigade. You were there in Diwas. I came and spent my first night on 26th June with Brigadier Amarol, who was the commander of 56th Brigade. 27th morning, Barkhaji, when I got up early morning, it was a bright light. I got out of my bunker and I looked at that majestic feature called Tiger Hill. The first thing which came to my mind was that Shabad of Shri Guru Gobind Singh. Those lines were, De Shiva Bar Mohe Ihe Shubh Karmante Kabahu Na Karu Arso Jab Jaye Daru Nischay Karapu. Now that is what the role actually Nischay Karapu. If did Nischay. That was what I spoke and I said to myself that I will take Tiger Hill. As I was looking at the Tiger Hill, I saw a young officer coming towards me. And no wonder he was known as, but he was Vikram Batra. He had grown his beard. He was from my formation, 13th January, which had come earlier. And by the time he had taken 5140, I said, well, Vikram, how are you? You're looking very handsome and beard. The officer who was accompanying him, he said, sir, don't call him Vikram. He is Sher Khan now. I was very good. He said, sir, you have told me once when I missed a terrorist, and you said, son, don't miss next time. And I had promised you, when the unit started out, he came and promised me, yes, sir, I'm going to war now. And I promise you I won't miss an enemy. And sure enough, he said, I've come to tell you that in 5140, I've not missed an enemy. I got it, and I did say, Dil Mangi Mo. I think by that time it would become, though it was his, what was that, success signal. Thereafter, he said, sir, now since you have been assigned the task of Tiger Hill, I especially came down and wanted to meet you and ask you and request you that 13 jacket should be taken and give me the task of taking me to the top. That is top of Tiger Hill. I said, certainly. I promise you today that you will be the one who will be going to the Tiger Hill top. You know my plans are very tough, but I know when the going gets tough, Batra gets going. He said, no, Sher Khan gets going. Okay. Now that was the start. When I went on for the reconnaissance thereafter, I was targeted by an artillery OP, and I was shelled. And a shell landed just 5 yards from me, a medium shell. I was buried into a bunker, very dilapidated bunker which was there. Taken out by two Rajdev Jawans. Their soldiers were there. I was only praying to God that I should not be wounded and be evacuated. But God was great. This was my second time of survival. But in insurgency, I was blown up with RDX and I'd just come back after getting myself stitched with 48. This was a blunt injury. Well, I made my plan. Plan was presented. Somehow, they thought it was a plan with 4 units, as you had mentioned in your commentary. But it had got changed because they wanted the 4875 was given little priority. 3rd and 4th, that is the 3rd July and 4th July, that is the 3rd night, my attack for Tiger Hill was to go. And on 4th, 5th, the attack on 4875 was planned. Now my plan, my whole thing was converted into a adversary attack. It would come failed attack. That is, 18 Canadians, as you are aware, that they had done their thing in Kargil, and they were resting in Gumri area after having lost 2 officers and almost 60 casualties they had. And 8-6, which was deployed all around Tiger Hill. These 2 units were given to me. The instructions were very clear that let 18 Canadians go on top. The way you have planned, you make the plan. And my plan was to go take the top first and then come down to the southwestern side. That is on India Gate and Helmet side. I said to myself, okay, I have to take those instructions. But something came to my mind. It was a very, very strange thing which came to my mind. And I think so that took a turn. That turned the whole thing. As you rightly mentioned, it was a turning point in the Kargil conflict. Now, that was those 8-6 UOs, when I was there on the farm base in the battle headquarters, 446, I called the Subedar Major. I told my BM, just ask for the Subedar Major. Subedar Major came, and naturally their morale, because they had already attempted 2 attempts were failed on southwestern side. One by 121 Brigade, one was by 56 Brigade. And I was told that probably their morale, because there is low, because of various reasons. Don't want to go into that. I asked Subedar Major a very frank question in Chase Punjabi. Subedar Major Sahab, मैंने हुक्म मिला कि 8 सिख दे मुंडे थल्लियों बोले सोना हाल कर तुसी एक चीज दा मैंने जवाब चाहिए ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਿਰਫ कि 8 सिख दे लड़के थल्लियों जकारा बुलाना चाहते हैं या टाइगर हिल टॉप. All of a sudden I saw that spark in his eyes. I knew I won the battle. Now that spark, that is one motivation, which I say, sir, spontaneously I got the reply. Sir, 8 सिख दे मुंडे उत्तों जकारा गाउण बोले सान हाल उत्ते जाके कहना गया थले क्यों. Of course, I told him, okay, now you go back. I asked the CEO, I said, SP, you gave me about 50 men. I don't know the company, plus I'm not staff college, so those clients who I'm staff college. But give me the fittest 50 cats, keep them ready. Moment I get the top, I'll ask them to go and occupy where you've been trying for the last 2 times. He said, sir, ultimately, he got 2 officers, led by Major Parmar, Lieutenant Sharaf, his Gothic platoon, and 4 JCOs and 46 other ranks, total 52 men. Now, I put grenadiers and I called the CO to get the fittest officer, the youngest officer. They got it. And you have seen that movie, and rather, actually, that was movie we have made on you lecture, the way the Colossian climbs. And you know how Bulwan I made him to climb. I got two teams from of halls from the altitude warfare school, which was close by Sonamar. I said, Beta, you have to climb up and give me top because that's the only way we could achieve surprise. So it was difficult, but not impossible. Well, fourth morning at 4 o'clock, 4 July, I got the success signal and he got the top. That is, the commander platoon had gone on top. And the Delta company was just sitting about 100 meters away. Nimbalkar, you know, hero, what the chicken. Now, that was the time when because by the time Janpuri had left the operation, thinking that you give me the ball, you give me the progress in the morning. I told him, I said, sir, I give you good news. I got the Tiger Hill top. But the battle is on. Please keep to yourself. Because by 10 o'clock, the position will be clearer. Now the battle is on. But I assure you that we won't keep you. We got the top. And that was my main aim was. He said, oh, was good, well done. But that excitement, exuberance, as per his book, as per his wording, he dragged up co-commander and he said, have a bath in champagne. And then after traveled all the way. And by 9 o'clock, our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, in his own style, he, in a public meeting in Haryana, he declared, हमारे जवानों ने टाइगर हिल पर कब्जा कर लिया. Now that is where the thing traveled to Musharraf, and to Nawaz Sharif, and he was angry with the people that how Tiger Hill is gone, how that iconic feature is said, as we are lost. I want at any cost. Now this was the time, Barkha, that I told those 52 men, which was not in the plan. Even GOC didn't know. I not disclosed to him intentionally because he may say, don't do it because the instructions are not from top. You have to do certain things to achieve something. Well, I asked them to carry on. On fourth night, they started climbing 8-6 men. And by morning of fifth, they had captured 2 posts, that is Helmet and India Gate. If you see the map, this Helmet and India Gate was on the southwestern side of the top. Now I had interposed these 52 men between the top and between the western side, you see the Rocky Knob and 475, that feature of Trick Heights. But in the morning, when the enemy learned that they were totally cut off, their company headquarters from the top, they started punishing them. I was expecting in the morning only that counterattack or some reinforcements will come to reinforce the top. But luckily, or unfortunately, for some reason for 8-6, why I'm saying, because they were punished the whole day, but nothing came on 5th. 6th morning, early morning, the first counterattack came on Helmet. It was repulsed. It was a very weak counterattack. Second was also repulsed. But the third counterattack was led by 2 very determined officers. 2 officers were leading that attack with almost strength. To my mind, it was a strength of more than 40 people or 60 people. But certainly, it was in a great strength because it is a ridge line. You can't make it out how many people. There's no FUP made in the plains. So it was later on we learned that he was Major Kabar of SSG, Special Service Group. That is like our para officers, para commandos. And the other officer later, of course, we learned that he was Captain Colonel Sher Khan of 12 life. Now, as they came forward, they were able to beat that small little fourth level, that is 6 men. We left with Lieutenant Sharawat, 2 JSU. They were there in Helmet. So as a result, my 2 JSU lost their life. They were killed, they were martyred there. And Sharawat was badly wounded. So Major Ravinder Parmar, who was the chief commander and located there in India Gate, He asked my permission. In fact, I had started controlling the battle because I had taken the permission from the commanding officer. He let me speak to them because I could speak that Punjabi very well. I could influence the battle. And he had given me because for the reasons, kind of it. Now, I was talking to Parmar directly, and he was saying, sir, I want to pull them back. I said, pull them back. Give them a fight only at India Gate. India Gate, Major Iqbal, somehow, I don't know, we didn't find him. We only got his body data, which was not actually not found really, I think, so whether he was killed or whether he had slipped down. But this young guy in tracksuit, as you are aware, they were all putting on black kurta pajamas. This particular person, young man, was putting on tracksuit. And the JCO and the officer was time and again saying, sir, there is a young man putting on tracksuit. He inspires them, main motivates them and brings them. This is the third time. He is again motivated them and got them back. Now, that is the time where all of a sudden, I said, in any case, you have to kill this person. Where in a tracksuit, I feel that he's an officer and not a normal one. So he said there is a Pal sir who's there and who's badly wounded. So he asked Pal Singh to somehow get up and kill him. So Sukhpal Singh, despite getting wounded twice, got up. And then after getting up, he just deliberately from 5 yards killed this young man. And the moment he was killed, everything was over. This was on 6th, and everything was. We also learned that there was another commando officer. Later, he was awarded. That is Diwas issue. The thing is, thereafter, the Tiger Hill top was also captured by, and another platoon came from Grenadiers, 18 Grenadiers, and reinforced. And they were about 18 men came from Sikh also and reinforced. The thing is, by 6th, by evening, we had posted the flag on the Tiger Hill. Now that was one, there was a little, what I wanted to tell you is a very interesting incident. That all of a sudden, when the communications failed, and they say that the radios we are open, enemy can hear us. So I told my signal officer, don't worry. I said, pass a message, there are para commandos are landing there. Tiger. They weren't landing, but at times you have to do something. You could call it deception or anything you call it. It gave a lot of josh to our troops, and the enemy from the top started running away after hearing this because the enemy could hear. So he also heard that para commandos are coming. Anyway, it was just a normal thing. The battle was over, but it came to mind. It was playing in my mind that he must be an officer who was leading. Of course, I fought a 71 war also. But Bangladesh war, I never saw any officer leading attack. That is the major weakest point in Pakistan. Why I'm saying this, I thought was an officer. So somehow I was impressed by his behavior because bravery is that he had come to our entire perimeter where I had 2 officers wounded. Both officers were wounded. Major Parmar and Lieutenant Sharawat. I had lost 3 JSs out of 4. 50 men were gone. 18 men, they were lying wounded. 39 casualties. Imagine, it was a battle of a small scene, you can compare it to some extent a battle of Saragiri. That it was hand-to-hand fight later. So this is how the Tiger Hill was taken. I wanted this man's body back. So I sent instructions. Somehow, our bodies were coming down, wounded were being brought down by the pioneers and by our own advance. And I had to somehow I was adamant that I want this body.
This man turns out to be Colonel Sher Khan later.
Captain Colonel.
Captain Colonel Sher Khan. And this is the body that comes down eventually. So tell us about this.
This is the body which is lying in front of my bunker. When the body was brought down, you can see that he was in tracksuit and all. And I asked, we searched his pockets and got the letters and all everything, and got it read by JCO who knew Urdu. We didn't know Urdu. We found letters from his begum. कि आप कब आओगे, बहुत इंशाल्लाह सब कुछ ठीक ठाक है, बच्चे वेट कर रहे हैं, आपके इंतजार कर रहे हैं. उसके वालिद की चिट्ठी थी. From there we learned that he was, we were later confused that his name was Captain Karnal Sher Khan, because there is no name generally in Muslims that we find that he is. We have Karnal Singh, Jarnail Singh in Punjab, but generally they don't have Colonel Singh, Colonel Sher Khan. But then subsequently his father told us that his grandfather had named him Captain Colonel Sher Khan, or rather Colonel Sher Khan, so that he becomes colonel when he's there. And they used to say, there was an interview on BBC, the officer said, we used to get confused when he was lieutenant and used to say, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Sher Khan. So he was Colonel Sher Khan. It was there. So we prepared the documents and all. I convinced the GOC that we must send his body back and some other documents to make sure, to tell Pakistan, to tell everyone that the regular army is fighting. It was another light infantry. And there was regular army, they're not Mujahideens as General Musharraf was claiming on this plane. But then something was breaking my heart. I just took out a piece of paper. This was for my heart. No one told me, I didn't ask anyone. I just wrote it on a piece of paper only that Captain Karnal Sher Khan of 1209 has fought very bravely, and he must be given his due recognition. And I put that paper in his pocket, never realizing in my life, never realizing ever whether these lines will be, this paper will be taken out by, seen by anyone, or even his body will be accepted by Pakistan. And sure enough, we were fighting war. I fought another operation called Diwas. But I was told that his body was refused, as expected. It was later on the insistence of Red Cross that his body was then accepted by Pakistan. And the moment it was accepted, I think so somebody saw that, those 4 lines. That was the time, in fact, they insisted, everyone, and ensured and forced General Musharraf that हमारे जवानों ने भी, they have also fought for them, अपने वतन के लिए लड़े, उनके लिए भी उनको मिलना चाहिए, prize मिले. So that was the time that he started and he accepted that our regular army was fighting. And that's the time these all awards were given. And I was very, very, I think so, most happiest person when I learned that he's been awarded Nishane-e-Haider.
So this is an extraordinary story. And to me, who loves the Indian military, I consider it the great honor of my life to have had the opportunity to learn from all of you, to cover the Kargil war at the front line. To me, this symbolizes the Fauji spirit, your soldier's heart, your big heart. But I want to go back to this image of Karnal Sher Khan, or Colonel Sher Khan, as his father wanted him to be. He was only a captain. Can we go back to that body? This is the body you see outside your bunker. और आप अपने दिल से एक चिट्ठी उनकी जेब में डाल देते हैं. वो क्या feeling थी? What was that feeling in you that made you do it, sir?
The feeling was like anything, we are fighting with the enemy. Whether he's enemy, the way he fought very bravely. And everyone I was getting the report that these young men again gets them, inspires them. And he was the one who was the last one to kill. And he just came so close. And he was leading on the front, the only person. So at that time, I didn't know that he was an officer. But my guess was because he was the only person in his tracksuit. So I thought that maybe that is a different dress. So he should be now the young officer. So I want to see that officer who was really, and that sort of his bravery impressed me, whatever the way he fought. I said, and when I wrote that chit, when I saw his body, I read the letters of his family, his begum and wallet. I thought, I must recommend, for my heart, that before the body goes, I just took out a piece of paper and instantly, it was a spontaneous action, that I must recommend, I must say, brave is a brave, whether he's an enemy, he is no more enemy, he's a soldier now. And he has fought bravely. So my heart, it was my heart. I said purely for my heart that I wrote those 4 lines. And not even expecting that somebody will ever read. But it was from my heart. So I wrote
amazing
and put it.
Now, later, when he does get the Nishane-e-Haider, which is Pakistan's highest military honor, you said you left the chitti in his jab. You didn't even know. You see, initially, Pakistan was not even taking back bodies. Pakistan Pakistan didn't want to admit कि उनके अपने regular लोग were, हाँ. And the Indian Army, I just want to tell our audience this, sir, because many young people don't know, the Indian Army in the finest tradition actually performed the last rite for many Pakistani soldiers' bodies which were lying unclaimed. But this body does manage to go across with the intervention of the Red Cross and so on. Now, later when you hear that he has got the Nishan-e-Haider, Pakistan's highest military honor, basis your as an adversary, your men have slain this captain, but you are recommending him for the Nishan-e-Haider, and you get this news. What is the first thing you thought? मतलब आपके दिल में उस समय क्या गुजरी? क्या गुजरा आपके दिमाग में क्या गुजरा?
I think so. I was the happiest person. Why? Because I thought I'm the one out in the history of warfare. If you see, this must have happened for the first time that one commander writes citation of the enemy. And he also writes citation of his own man, his own young soldier, Brigadier Yogendra Yadav. He gets Paramveer Chakra, and the enemy gets Nishan-e-Haider. It's never happened anywhere. But my biggest thing was that, yes, that what my heart said, it was accepted by the God. And that God, it was God's will. And that I thought, okay, probably, yes, what I did was the right thing. And he got the right sort of thing. Otherwise, he would have gone as an unsung hero.
How did you find the बड़ा दिल, जिसको कहते हैं ना कि आपका दिल बहुत बड़ा है सर, क्योंकि मैं ये लोगों को समझाना चाहती हूँ. How did you find that big heart? जैसे आपने कहा आपने PVC recommendation likha and Yogendra Yadav then was recognized with it, but you were the happiest person when an enemy captain that your men took out, a just war where the Pakistanis had come in. How did you find that generosity of heart? And did his family ever reach out to you? I know they wrote a letter to the Indian Army thanking you. That is what we get to read, thanking you for your generosity. But how did you find that generosity inside you?
You see, but what gave me the biggest, thing is satisfaction was. Then, of course, recommending it was, but what additions or thing which I got as shabash and the thanks from his father. कि मैं बहुत मशहूर हूँ ये मेरे दुश्मन ने मेरे बेटे को, चाहे उसने अपने वतन के लिए शहादत दी, और आपके एक ब्रिगेडियर बाजवा ने जो है थे वहाँ ब्रिगेडियर, उन्होंने उसकी लेटर की वजह से मेरे बेटे को एक बहुत बड़ा अवार्ड मिला. Or, well, I was giving an interview to the BBC. BBC was also interviewing their people. And I heard his bhanja nephew saying, हमारे मामू जान ने बहुत बड़ी शहादत की. हम मशहूर हैं उनके दुश्मन के भी, जिन्होंने हमारे मामू जान को ये किया. And mind you, their village, which was a very remote area, is that complete area has totally changed. Those 4 lines have played a very, very vital role. I mean, he got Nishan-e-Haider. But today, the whole village is, whole area is lit up. The roads are there, schools are there, internet is there. You say a thing, and the name of the village has been changed after Colonel Sher Khan. So much so that I was, the day they wanted to name their academy, and they wanted to honor me, and they wanted me to inaugurate. See, this is where the things come down. That whether the people have approached me from Pakistan, let they be, और हमारे अवाम को चाहिए नहीं और ये हम अगर आप हमारे आदमी को लड़के को दे सकते हो, करा सकते हो, शहादत दी उसने अपने वतन के लिए, पर आपने उनको इज्जत दी, एंड हम चाहते हैं कि हम आपको भी इज्जत दें. So this is what I think so the aim should be, and that should not only we just kill and that's right. We are doing our duty. They are doing their duty for their country, and we are doing it.
I want to ask you, when Pakistan approached you, or people from Pakistan, that they also want to honor you, what did you think? And I think you've said something so important. I've had this silly smile throughout the interview because I know from knowing all of you that this is what a soldier's heart is. It's not ki jao maro, which are calls given from armchair people who never actually seen action. When Pakistan approached you and said, we'd like to, or Pakistanis, not Pakistan, when Pakistanis approached you and said, what did you think?
Well, it was an honor. It can't be anything better. I mean, there was something, I got message through someone, not directly, but through someone one of my friend was there in touch with them on the thing. And they asked them, okay, we are sending visa and all. Please, we want him at least once to visit us. And we would just want to honor him there because he has done so much. That is what I think so the spirit should be. This is from the awam. Not from army to army. After we are always legs gone with each other. But what I'm saying, the public, the feelings were so strong that till now, on the Twitter, I get more messages from Pakistan. Thanking me for this. And I think so. No one else has ever said, why. Though, of course, people have said, why Saurabh Kalia was treated why did you treat him like that? I said, no. Saurabh Kalia, that means we are like that. Is they treated, let's not treat them like that. Is a soldier's, another prisoner was photograph you've seen in Zulu's part. I'm talking to the prisoner. You should see the photograph. He's a Muhammad Ashraf from 1924. He was made prisoner when he got a gangrene. If you see, his leg is also seen there. I went and spoke to him. I took out his blinds. I said, Muhammad Ashraf, ki hal hai? Kaka the figure na. He was also from Lahore. I knew he was new Punjabi. So he started weeping. He started crying. I said, why? He said, sir, I was told because I'm a young soldier and I've got 6 sisters. I was told that Indians will just give you poison. They'll torture you to death. But you have treated me so well. You are now trying to get me treated and send me back. I don't want to go back. They'll kill me. But I see that it is just it is humanitarian sort of thing. Those feelings, you live, you sort of fight bravely. Not that only you do it, but at the same time, you have to have those feelings as well.
I want to ask you in the end, there was also a Pakistani army officer that reached out to you over the walkie-talkie, Lieutenant Colonel Mustafa, if I'm remembering.
Yeah.
Right. Tell us that story.
This was my second operation of Zulu Spot. This was actually finished on 25th morning. That's why we celebrate our Vijay Diwas Day on 26th. I enable the whole country to celebrate because I got the first that objective of, I don't want to go into details. I used to paras, 9s of para, team loss and that. But for Zulu Spot. When the dead bodies were lying and we had lost 4. Now I was told by the commanding officer, Colonel Rajbir of the 30th, that the commanding officer, sir, wants to speak to you on radio. I said, put him through. It would be very good that I speak to the commanding officer of my enemy. He says, sir, Colonel Mustafa here. The site. I say, yes, Mustafa. What can I do for you? He says, sir, first of all, I must congratulate you. Your boys have fought very well. I said, thank you very much. Secondly, sir, this 19th FF that is in front of your post was once commanded by Field Marshal Manik Shah. I said, very nice. That's the first time I'm hearing. Now tell me, what do you want? What can I do for you? He said, sir, this is question of my izzat of my pattern. You see, he had not got instruction by anyone, but at his own he said, this is a question of my izzat. I want to make a very personal request to you. I said, yes, go ahead. He said, sir, if you could return my dead bodies. Now, because he says, that's the time as a commander, I have to give a decision. I can't say I'll check and let you know. We are not those officers. We are not those commanders. I said, okay, if I give you return those bodies, what will you do? He says, I'll go back without giving you. I said, how do I take your word? He says, sir, I'm Pathan. Now, that spontaneous answer by him literally shook me. That he's saying, I'm Pathan. So I have to reply. I can't say anything else. So I also spontaneously said, okay, I'm also Sardar. Your bodies will be handed over. But with respect, these should not be dragged in a gunny bag. We'll wrap them in your national flag of Pakistan and thereafter put them on the stretchers. And your boys will come, carry the stretchers with salute, and because they are no more enemy. We kill them. They are now soldiers. So you see a clip, there's a clip, you put it on the YouTube and see other Pakistani bodies handed over. Somebody from 9SF had recorded that with video cameras. we never thought of recording. But it did go to, I understand, went to UNO that day. And they really admired and wrote to Artemis. And subsequently, I also got shabash. Initially, I was given a warning. Oh, why did you return the body that you own? But that was the first time, and this again, that during a battle, and we both kept our word. He went back, and I returned the body.
And of course, he was the rare Pakistani officer who was willing to take back the bodies of his men. Under Musharraf, Pakistan was not willing to even acknowledge their fallen soldiers. And what could be a bigger disgrace than disowning your own men in uniform?
No, I must correct you something. Because this particular 19 was proper uniform, khaki uniform. This was no more those. This was, if 12th of July, if you know, you are aware.
Yeah.
From 12th July to 18th July, we had given them time to pull out, because this is what Bill Clinton told people, pull out.
Correct.
So there was a ceasefire. This was after ceasefire, when we learned that there is a regular unit, which is in a proper uniform, khaki uniform, which has come and taken off. That's why it was FF, not an NLI unit.
No, correct.
But I must admire his izzat of his thing. He's approaching the enemy just to get his bodies back. Otherwise, no other CEO, I haven't seen a CEO in Pakistan, and now expect them to, to take their bodies back. But I mean, I wish those NLI bodies were also taken back by somebody with respect. We did bury all those bodies with respect. That's a different issue. But here's an officer is approaching him. Ekal Mustafa is approaching for his men to get them those bodies back. He says, question of my izzat. And I really admired his thing, And as an infantry officer, I also kept my word and sent the bodies and handed over the body. And they took it with respect.
And I think one of the extraordinary things was how the military performed the last rites for the Pakistani fallen soldiers when those bodies were not being taken back. So at least Colonel Mustafa fought for his men. But I must, in the end, sir, salute you for two reasons. For many reasons, but I'll keep it to two right now. One, for being the hero of the Tiger Hill operation. It was a turning point in the war. I say this as somebody who was there. We know you're a war-wounded veteran. You have seen action in Bangladesh in 71, then Kargil. But secondly, for actually representing and being a living example of what a soldier's code is, what the fact is that war also has a code. There is an ethics to war. And I think by showing that generosity to Colonel or Colonel, Captain, Colonel Sher Khan, you showed your bada dil, you showed that courage also comes with compassion. So we bow to your courage and compassion, Brigadier MPS Bajwa. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Very kind. Thank you,
sir. Thank you, sir. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.